Good start.
Good way to start, yes.
Oh gosh.
Jody questions me sometimes when he's just like, I could run the stream and DM at the same time. It wouldn't be a
Apparently, you're also
Really?
muted, Jody.
You see how easy it is for audio to just not work?
Elias is feeling a little vindicated right now.
No,
I'm
it's
feeling extremely vindicated.
it's the fact that I upgraded OBS and it decided to change my defaults again. However, but
Windows
buddy,
updates will do that a lot too.
everything is doing it to me. Hi guys. I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna pretend that we just appeared. It's like, hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Watch Jody Screw Up the Stream repeatedly. I am Jody, and I will be screwing up your stream today. The other people
Also,
on stream,
Jody, apparently you're a little quiet.
If you can up your gain.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
We'll wait for this delay in chat.
We have a delay. So that it might have everything to do with the fact that I am just so exhausted from screwing up. I'm just
Mary,
not
you can
projecting.
just give me technical notes in real time.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're right there. So today we are joined by our stage manager, Mary, who shall remain off screen, but will actually have complete control of this show because everybody in theater knows the stage manager is the person that really runs the show. And anyone that's never been
really
involved in theater has no idea what that means.
Yeah. You are absolutely right. You guys, if you have a really bad stage manager, you have a really bad show.
Yeah.
Also, if you piss off the stage manager,
you will have a really bad night.
The rest of the show will go very well, but for some odd reason, like your mic won't work, and then your cues won't happen.
Won't fit, or
what if I told you that for the first Youthon, before it was Zelda for Eternity in the summer, back when Breath of the Wild launched, that whole 48-hour weekend marathon that we did first, Lex was the stage manager for it.
Does not surprise me.
That he self-proclaimed was the stage manager.
Does not surprise me in any way,
Marathons
shape, or form.
don't usually have stage managers unless you have an actual stage.
No, that still makes sense, though.
Background support characters?
Anyway, hello, everybody. This is...
Checks out. Hi, Becca.
This is Tears of the Realms. This is our customized cipher system RPG, and the people below me are the players of this crazy, bizarre game. And do we have announcer moments? I think one announcer meant the reason that Elias, the person that's actually good at running the stream, isn't running it. Is he and Mary and anyone else? Is it just you and Mary?
Me, Mary, Peyton /MP, who was on stream overnight and I was sleeping. Laughing Boy LP, and Alex Lee. The five of us from the U are all here.
Yeah, and they're at Zeldathon, which is a cool Zelda convention, we'll call it. It's actually not a convention, but my brain has forgotten the word I'm supposed to use. So
Charity marathon.
There we go.
Meet up.
I know, was it last night or yesterday? You guys were doing. They were playing 3 Zelda games simultaneously: Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
A Link to the Past, and Link's Awakening.
So our primary segment was yesterday. Was it morning? Yeah, yesterday morning. It was a BizHawk Zelda Shuffler race. Myself, Peyton, and Laughing Boy were all playing essentially 3 Zelda games at once and racing who could beat the most dungeons. It was A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and Ocarina of Time that just randomly shuffled between those 2 games, so we were suddenly controlling another game randomly.
Oh man!
And those are 3 different games, 3 different Zelda games. I lost the
Peyton
race.
Won, right?
Peyton
You lost to
got
Peyton?
second. Okay, so what happened was I had very big input lag, right? So I'm usually pretty good at Link to the Past, but I was dying a lot.
Oh, it was the lag. It was the lag.
Later. All right, listen, I don't want to hear it from you. You guys weren't here. Anyway, I lost because Laughing Boy was way ahead of us, and it was me and Peyton vying for second place, and it came down to us fighting Landmalus, and he beat Landmalus like 2 seconds before I could.
You don't want to hear it from us because we weren't there, but Mary was, and she also put input lag.
Excuse me, I have to log in. Anyway, as I'm sure Mary will also share with you, I got a unique punishment for getting last place. So that all happened yesterday. And then we do have one more segment where we are playing a portion of Tears of the Kingdom for the marathon on Wednesday morning. It's pretty early. Check the schedule.
Time out. You can't just say you got a unique punishment and not say what it was.
Apparently he was dunked in 5 gallons of water.
I'm anticipating that Mary will post a clip, but...
Okay. you were just going to leave it at that. Hold, please.
So anyway, definitely after you're done watching us do random chaos in a tabletop RPG, definitely head on over to the Zeldathon Twitch stream and support ZU people and other people from the greater Zelda fandom. I actually don't know who actually runs Zeldathon. If it's another one of the sites.
The Super MC Gamer.
Super MC Gamer.
It's just an organization. The organization is called Zeldathon. It's all they do, really. But they run multiple Zeldathons a year. This is their big one of the year. They invited us to. So yeah, that's Zeldathon.
So it's always nice to get that little nod of recognition of, oh, you're Zelda fans? We'll invite you to our really big Zelda thing. And then cover you in 5 gallons of water. When you lose to
This is all thanks to a chance encounter at TwitchCon. Anyway, I'm going to keep drinking coffee. While the dashboard continues to be slow to load over hotel Wi-Fi, preventing me from deleting one of Mary's messages.
Do we have any other announcements for ZZU?
Nothing that we didn't cover last week, I don't think.
Yeah, we don't have anything
probably going to have
for...
this youth on schedule published by next episode, and no, I can't think of anything.
That was going to be my question because I know last week we mentioned Z-Youthon.
It's early, okay? It's noon. It's 11 p.m.
For anyone who wasn't with us before we went live.
Wait, but then the next time we said, sorry, go ahead, explain that.
Elias was saying it was too early for musicals because Chax and I were singing, and he said it's 11 p.m. and that's too early, and we're like, where the hell are you that it's 11 p.m.?
And he goes, it's almost noon. And then we tried to say, wait, do you mean 11 a.m.? He goes, no, 11 p.m. It's almost midnight.
So, no, I didn't say almost, because I meant to say 12.
Yeah, he said it is noon.
And I kept thinking I had said 12 p.m. And I was like, 12 p.m. is noon. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway, I'm going to drink coffee.
You said midnight. So I was like, wait, we are so confused. Where are you?
At one point, midnight came out.
Yeah, 100% meant it. 100% meant it.
In Elias's defense, and I generally won't go to Elias's defense because it's more fun to attack him, but the 12-hour clock system is weird in the idea that it switches at 12 instead of like at 1, like you would think. When you go back to the first number, then you would switch from AM to PM. But no, we do it on 12.
Because that's at the top of the clock. Come on, Jody.
Jack's using circular logic on that one. I have an announcement.
Please.
Does your announcement involve asking people to write you another paper?
No,
Oh, good.
it's my birthday on Monday.
Happy early birthday!
I might stream. I don't know yet.
Very, very cool.
I also have an announcement. I finally found pants in Tears of the Kingdom.
Wait a minute. I thought we were doing a pantsless run.
We were doing a pantsless run, but then I followed one of Nico's treasures and I found the climbing pants. And it's like, oh no, it ruined it.
So to be clear, your first pants in that game were the climbing pants.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I don't think I got until weeks after beating the game.
She streamed the first couple times she played, she streamed them, and I spent most of the time in chat just cracking jokes about, do you ever think Link wakes up, sees this weird ghost dude who goes, yes, I had to replace your arm, but where are my pants? Pants are extinct in the future.
Okay, wait. Why are there so many shrines where you don't have anything on? Why are there so many Choni shrines?
You'll find a common theme with this game is that
people like
that
Link
said
being
ghost
nude.
Character that I'm sure we're allowed to talk about, but that said ghost character really likes to undress Link at any opportunity.
Yes.
So that's
So maybe I'll actually open my game and play.
Are you okay over there?
On Monday.
Yeah, you definitely should.
It's really funny.
And also, like, there's again, without getting into spoilers, there's tons of new outfits. It was surprising how many of them don't have pants, though. Like, lots of sarongs and skirts and lots of stuff showing off his chest.
Yep.
Got to show that new arm off.
Yeah.
True. I did see a really funny, I don't know if I put it in the Tears chat or the Realms chat or the Veils chat, or Discord, but it was about how the ghost took off Link's old arm and attached his new one with Ultra.
Oh, yeah, with the Ultra hand. He just, wait, go.
Glue.
Guys, Tears of the Kingdom
found
is
me.
a really, really great game, and Tears of the Realm will every so often make allusions to Tears of the Kingdom, but we can't build giant robots yet.
Yet being the operative word.
Aside from the fact that...
After this conversation, I'm surprised we didn't show up in S2, whatever it's called, all shirtless.
Yeah, we totally should have, yeah. Except for the fact that wouldn't quite fit with the lore that I've written. But next time you guys are sent to a different tier, you will all show up just without pants.
It's not shirtless, it's pantsless.
How do you know we aren't all pantsless right now?
Well,
No
I
one
mean,
stand up.
you guys don't know what
I have pants on.
Adesh is wearing underneath the stalker armor, you know?
True, but technically it's metal pants.
Anyway, so
Just like what I'm wearing now.
yeah. I love that Mary clipped our conversation about the ghost really likes to undress Link.
She keeled over laughing when I said that for here.
Thank you, Mary.
It's these highbrow conversations that keep our audience engaged.
You know,
Is it?
if you come to Zelda universe, be prepared to have those, really intellectual conversations where we discuss, things like the meaning of life and whether or not pants are extinct and whether or not you should show your chest at every point physically possible. You know, the really important stuff.
You say intellectual conversation. I have 2 academic articles right next to me right now, ready to go.
Are either of them about the existence of pants?
They're actually about race representation in anime.
Oh, I actually
no.
do for
The
my
answer
fashion
is no.
history class have a couple of research papers on pants.
Are y'all okay?
We're great. How are you?
It was a fashion history class.
You want to know what I did?
That makes absolute sense.
For my college
Taken
degree,
a fashion history class.
I did a presentation about unions where I started by singing "The World Will Know" from Newsies, and that was the most interesting thing I did. And then I had another one for one of my science courses where I played my saxophone, and I linked, because the way you tune a saxophone is the mouthpiece. You can push it in and pull it out, and that changes the tuning. And so I linked the actual distance it moved to the actual pitch of the notes in megahertz. Like, that's as fancy as I got for my degree, and then I created a business plan for a business that doesn't exist. And I got to make up all of my numbers.
Don't worry, I got to also create a fictional business. It's called Mobile VFSS.
Hypothetically, I learned how to make shrunken heads.
See, another thing, I'm thinking that maybe getting a business degree, I missed out on a lot of the college experience. Like, even my theater degree, when I first went, I didn't do this stuff. I sang Man de la Mancha from Man de la Mancha and then had to drop out of Shakespeare. Like, that was my college experience.
I think my favorite class when I was in college for theater was the radio class, where we had to bring a whole bunch of objects. Like, this was a weekly thing where we were given a script, and then we would all stand behind a curtain, and we'd have to perform using anything that we brought and all of our stuff. And it was
so you guys
really
got
cool.
to do like Foley stuff.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Oh, like radio theater type.
Yeah.
I was just a DJ on a classic rock station for 2 years in college.
I reconstructed a human humorist.
Was it funny?
I was gonna.
The best part of that very dad-like joke was Elias's reaction.
That was awesome.
I'm exceedingly proud of that.
That was perfect.
You just need checks
Anyway, Adesh is going to use his newfounded authority to arrest all his new friends. First thing. That's my first action.
It's only at 11 p.m. Elias might have gotten to the joke quicker.
Censorship!
Oh. Oh.
Don't test him. Elias is just tired enough to abuse his authority.
Yeah, and Imp is just tired enough to abuse how the GM intrusions.
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to Jody using these intrusions on not me.
I only have... God, how many do I have? He has
like 20 at this
Mary
point.
just gave me a GM intrusion? Damn,
guys,
everybody.
Please,
guys,
and it says please use mine on Elias.
Got it.
Guys, we need player intrusion tokens.
Actually, to be perfectly honest, you guys need reroll tokens. Like, the intrusion tokens are great, but you guys roll like dung.
Hey, I've been rolling really well the past 2 games.
Yeah, I have not failed anything, I don't think.
I don't think I even rolled last game.
I didn't either, but it was still successful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
See, we didn't
figure
fail,
out-
so we succeeded.
Thank you, Mary.
Oh, yay!
Mary, whenever you're done, just let me know in chat so I can mark your stuff off in the queue. Because if I start marking them early, then I just lose count. Elias, I do have a plugin that lets me see all the deleted messages. You know that, right?
You
Oh,
don't
we're
need a
mods, so
plugin. You can just see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was only possible with Oh wait, no, because I'm a mod.
No, you just click.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can change your thing.
I
Yeah.
keep
Also-
forgetting I'm a mod on this channel.
I think Mary forgets she has root Twitch access now. She can delete my messages too if she wants. Yeah, she forgot about that.
All right, so real quick before we get going, Ilea and Shax, go ahead and take some intrusion tokens.
How many?
Just one
Some?
each.
Oh, that's not some.
No.
And then
But more stuff's coming.
there'll be
Yay.
more stuff coming momentarily. However, while Mary is finishing off trolling Elias, I think it's time for us to
She's
return
never finished.
to Tears of the Realms. The new Tier Walkers have started on their first adventure. When we first met them, they'd been sent on their final training mission. They were sent to the Lost Woods and had to find each other and a teardrop, unique concentrations of magic with wild, varied, sometimes unpredictable powers. After succeeding, they left the Lost Woods and went to a local town that seemed to be overjoyous. Everyone was celebrating and having a good time, and the party soon realized that something was wrong. The people seemed almost oblivious of the party, of really anything happening outside of the celebration. And after investigating for a little bit, they found a strange, powerful item. It was later referred to as an artifact. An extremely high concentration of a similar amount of magic to the teardrops, but significantly more powerful. After leaving the party, they eventually called for help, and the heroes of the realms showed up, fearing the worst. After interacting with the heroes of the realms, they were eventually brought back to the Tears Core headquarters, got some sleep, and were taken to a platform miles above the earth. As they looked around, there was a strange ring looking similar to an Ouroboros symbol of a dragon eating its own tail. And they discovered that this is what they were going to use to enter the various tiers. After aiming it at the largest tier, known as Tier Prime, they were transported. And when they woke up, they found that they were different. They found that they had powers and abilities they didn't have before. Probably the most interesting, they found that they were in a bustling city like none they had ever seen. People were rushing to and from, trying to get to work, it seemed, and people didn't seem to find them strange at all. There was a few that actually tried to interact with the Tier Walkers and take them to work with them. And they started noticing that they all looked different and seemed to fit into this very strange place. However, as they started wandering around, they discovered that Adesh apparently belonged to some group that caused fear among the populace. They were stopped by an officer. Through some quick thinking and a little bit of luck, Adesh was able to assuage the fears of the police officer, and that's where we left them.
Ah,
So,
I was getting into it.
sorry, we'll play
I
it
have
again.
just realized I have not joined Roll20.
So you heard none of my awesome music. So
I was conducting
I saw Aaliyah get into it, and that it was like I was there. You know?
So
there were moments where the music swelled and it like perfectly matched with one of Jody's words. And I was just like,
there's a reason that I choose specific tunes for my recaps, and I actually learn the music.
I'll watch that part of the VOD whenever I put an ad break in.
So, real quick, Chax and Aaliyah from Mary Wants a Cookie, you both can take a reroll token. And then, Elias, you can take a player intrusion token from Triforce of the Goddesses.
Thank you, Triforce of the Goddesses, for being the first person this week to not pick on me.
how did I pick on you?
Anyway,
pick on
I
you.
have Samus armor, and I'm going to lay.
I support you.
Mary has pointed out that she never picks on you, so...
We just add a little chaos to your life, a little spice.
Yeah. We love you, Elias.
This
We
is how
just
we
add
show
a
our
little
love.
Spice of life.
A little spice.
Now
We
it's
live a
time.
very spicy life.
Oh, you know what that sound means? It means it's time for us to bend at the knees. It's time for sorry, it's a strong bad
I know you're
reference.
referencing something.
No.
There is a cartoon that is my favorite cartoon that has ever been created. It's a little short. It's like 5 minutes long, but it's called Characters from Yonder Website. And it is the greatest thing that Homestar Runner has ever done. So, that being said, again, you guys are kind of in the middle of a massive city, and people are rushing everywhere. It seems that you guys have gotten there right at the beginning of the day. And after the security have left, you guys are still kind of having to fight against the flow of traffic to the point that you're almost kind of forced into another like little alleyway type thing just so that you're not in the middle of this huge rush of traffic. Trogdor de Punchinator. Sorry, reacting to chat. I realize that probably is very jarring for you. So yeah, as you guys get in there, it's slightly easier for Adesh for you to kind of hide a bit so that you're not getting all these kind of strange looks and a wide berth from people when you're not in the middle of...
Yeah, I'll make sure I enter the alley. I'll make sure I enter the alley at a different time that they go in, so it just seems like we're...
Okay.
Like,
Does it seem like you guys are together?
Yeah.
See it as you're hunting one of them?
to where like
thanks for
like,
making me
anyone who's paying
wanted.
attention.
Yeah, why don't you do a blend of characters instead of pick someone out at random?
I don't think it was random.
So
What are you
that
talking
be-
about? He pretended to roll the dice and everything.
So that being said,
Should have
What would
picked her
y'all
out.
like to
She
do?
always wanted to be wanted.
you guys do notice, because you've only been here for about like 15 minutes.
I can knock
Jody-
my own character.
Did you miss what Shaq said?
I did.
Good.
So she said Elias should have chosen Arel to be the one he was hunting because Arel always wanted to be wanted.
Doesn't surprise me.
Rel isn't here.
That's the reason why she's the
That's the point.
So anyway, it takes you guys roughly about like 15, 20-ish minutes to get to this place. You can see that slowly but surely.
Sorry, wait, where are we going?
The alleyway, because again, you were kind of separated from them when the police stopped you. So
Yeah.
So
I was walking on the other side of the street anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys start realizing you must be at the very kind of tail end of rush hour here, because you're starting to see the throngs of people slow down a little bit. What would y'all like to do?
I'm not a row. I am not a row.
Billy, I have bad news. In order for me to get those protectors, I think they were called, security force off of my back, I had to present with them a bounty. And I'm not sure why the disc had your face on it, but apparently you are my bounty. And I'm only supposed to be amongst the common folk if I am hunting someone in particular. So we really can't be seen talking together in public.
Wouldn't it be all right if you just took off your armor?
Shax, your Rel has rubbed off on me.
I don't know how that works, but I will try to figure that out.
Are you wearing anything under your armor?
Am I going to be run out of town? I haven't been run out of town in so long.
Both of those questions, I don't know.
Do they have a copy of her disc?
I also don't know how to get out of this town.
Is it in their database now?
There was no membrane, right? So we can't get out of here the same way we got in.
As far as you can tell, Tier Prime is big. It's probably at this point like a mile or two in diameter. Like it's a really, really big tier. But when you guys were out and able to look, like the city itself looks like it's bigger than the tier. And you saw it go all the way down really far. And yeah, so as far as you can tell, you can't tell where the tier ends.
So the knowledge that we came in with about the world, is that, do we know about other cities in our environment? Do we have to interact with things before we get this random spurt of knowledge? Like, what knowledge did we come in with? Because that would stop a lot of questions that would have potentially.
To be perfectly honest, you don't know. Okay. What effectively has been happening is when you are put in a situation where the knowledge would be useful, it just seems to be there. Like your ability to use your powers, when you use them and think about them, they just make sense to you, and you understand absolutely everything about them, despite the fact that you shouldn't. And when people ask for specific information that you would normally just know, you will say the information or think the information as if you've always known it. But as far as how much additional information you have or how you access that information, you've got no idea.
Okay.
So, should I act like I'm a criminal then?
Probably not, because that will make you more suspicious.
Are you sure? I feel like you brought this on.
Wait. Do you know if your disc connects to their database? Do they now have Dilly's information in her database? In their database?
Get the disc out and try to summon a database.
Can I talk to the database?
With this knowledge that should inherently be in my head.
So as you take the disc out, you think about how you would get another disc effectively. And basically what happens is these discs are basically flash memory that is downloaded from a central database onto the disc. But the disc is not wirelessly connected or anything like that. It's just its own little flash drive. If you were to connect it to the kind of central database in the Hall of Stalkers, it would be uploaded and it would update. But until it's actually connected to something, it is contained entirely within the disk. Now, as far as however
So-
you willed it into being, whether that also willed it into being on the central database, you have
The
no
network.
idea. You would have to have access to that database to know.
Okay, so I'll keep that disk in particular away from any central database looking things, just in case it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
No, this doesn't seem to be connected to the database. We'd have to go to some sort of link station or something. So, I think we have our objective count has tripled. We still need to find someone to make contact, like Kestrel wanted us to. We now have to find a way out of here, and I guess as a optional objective, figure out what the central database might know about Dilly, if anything.
Can I see the disc?
I don't. Which one?
The one that has my face on it.
I need this to show to people.
I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you in a few minutes.
Yes, give it back to me intact and functioning, please. Thank you.
And because I'm more chaotic than Chax wants me to be, can I change the image of Dilly, not to a rel as Chax has proposed, but just to have a really fake mustache?
As you look at it, there's no image.
Please
on
just
the
say
disc.
yes.
You have a player intrusion, don't you?
Yeah, can I use an intrusion token to call up the image and give myself the image of myself a really fake mustache?
So, the discs are specifically made that unless you have a stalker helmet on, you can't actually see anything on the disc.
Look, we're going to keep fighting until I find a way to do this.
100%. I have
You
no
can
problem
talk
with you
to
doing it.
machines,
I'm
right?
saying, oh yeah, you.
I
you
can. Yes, that's my point.
Ooh, I'd
I want
forgotten.
to call it a
Noted,
nice
forgot
disc.
the ability.
So you do have an ability, and
Who's
I
a
have to
good
remember
little
how that
disc?
You may not even need
Yeah.
an intrusion for that.
Who's a
Yeah.
good little disc? You are. Yes,
so-
you are.
if you want to use your distant interface ability, because this is completely brand new tech to you, it is going to be a difficulty 5 check.
Yeah, no, I'm just using an intrusion token.
Okay, so intrusion tokens can help. You're still going to have to roll. So,
Okay.
if you want to use an intrusion token, you need to tell me exactly what beneficial thing is happening that this intrusion is doing. It's not, I succeed at this. It's, this beneficial thing is helping me in this instance, which affects my role in this way. So,
My ability to talk to the machines is being very helpful in the machine getting along with me. It loves all the compliments that I'm giving it, and it's willing to override an image a little bit, do a little of this world's version of Photoshop to create a layer of a mustache to put over the layer of my image.
I'll give you 2 assets, which is the most assets I can give you. So that brings it down to a difficulty 3.
Okay.
15. Wait, 9.
9,
Math.
yeah. So it goes from 15 to 9. And if you want to put a level of effort, that'll move it down more.
What type of roll is this, and does that matter? Again,
Uh,
I did not roll last game, so my memory of the rolling system.
Distance interface uses 2 power points. Since you have an edge of 2 for power, it means it doesn't cost you anything. But it is a power roll, and so if you wanted to add a level of effort, it would cost you 3 power points.
Okay, but I only have to make a 9, right?
And you have a reroll token.
I have 2 reroll tokens, and I'm going to reroll because I got an 8.
They now have one. Okay.
And I'm going to reroll because I got a 5. And if this happens again, I'm drinking in the morning.
That's quite all right.
17. I have no more reroll tokens.
There we go. So, yeah, as you sit there looking at this, the first thing you think is, okay, it looks kind of like an elaborate somewhat large poker chip, metallic poker chip, and you're just sitting here going, okay, am I supposed to raise with this? I don't get it. And as you kind of look at it, you just, again, this information comes from a place that doesn't make sense. And you go, if you had a stalker helmet, you would be able to actually see all the data that's on here. But without that, it's effectively, what do they call that? HoloLens. Altered reality or whatever it's called. Where...
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality. It's effectively key to augmented reality kind of thing. And so you sit there and go, oh, okay, well, there's still technology in there, and so you start focusing on it as much as you can, and despite the fact that you don't have the tech to be able to see it, you do start seeing what you assume a Dash can see on there, and you just take a little bit and you draw a little mustache on there, maybe you put a scar above one of the eyes. Do you want an eye patch as well?
Oh no, I just want a really ridiculous mustache.
Okay, so it is there.
Waluigi time.
Wow.
I'm not saying this in character.
Can I see these changes being made on the disc as they're making them?
Basically what happens is as you watch it kind of start blinking, and again, knowledge that you shouldn't have. Your first thought is, oh great, she's broken it. This is perfect. Now I don't have. And then as soon as you complete that thought, you can see her image with a big bushy mustache. You're like, oh no, this is even better.
Well, that'll help.
And they.
So...
go into the namings.
What,
I feel like...
Yeah, you gotta do it like I did with Arai.
Yeah.
Earlier. Big
No,
capital.
it reset from the last time I did it.
Oh, gotcha.
What?
Dilly is they,
Dilly
them.
is they, them.
Yes.
Now it says I'm they, them, which is
Ilea is they, them.
yeah, that's only half accurate.
Feels.
So we'll do this. There we go.
All right. So, what else do you guys want to do?
Okay.
After Dilly is done with their manipulation, you guys can kind of look back and you see that you don't see anyone going past the alleyway anymore.
Do I have like a map disc or something to help us like just get a lead on where we might find someone who wants to
not really built into
potentially is
not really built into the armor or anything like that.
Where can we go to make friends?
You do know that on most like major street corners there is kind of a terminal that people can use. It's like a combination communications and information terminal. So if you go basically at any big, like the street corner that you guys first started on, there should be a terminal there that you guys can find a map if you need it or anything else like that. You don't get your heads-up display in until Tier 2.
Well, I draw attention if any of you 4 other people that are here want to go to the terminal.
I would love to now, and I hand back the disc.
Okay, yeah. I will just stand guard here in the alley, looking menacing.
I'm following whoever is walking in the heels in the music.
Some music.
There's background sounds.
Why can't I hear it?
There's sounds, not music.
Yeah. Everything's music if you look at it and hear it the right way.
I can, every so often, if you join later, things like that, every so often the sound doesn't
I
always...
mean, my internet connection's a little unstable here, so
Yeah.
I'll refresh.
I have it looping, and so every so often it won't loop for some people. Roll20 is awesome, guys.
It's pretty fun.
Chaos is
It's
a
like
joy.
Twitter. It's like Twitter, where unfortunately it's the best version of this product that exists.
Oh.
Well, we'll see how that continues. I am pissed. I teach, so I'm lecturing on digital communication. This is ILEA now. And one of the lectures I give, I ask the students to come up, list all of the social media platforms that they use or have had an account on. And then I go through and I find who was able to write down the most. And then I'm like, and here's all of these for me. And I have a ton. And now I have to update that entire damn thing because of all the new social media platforms that are coming out to try and be the new Twitter.
Don't worry, most of them will fail within 6 months to a year, so...
But that means I still have to do it for the fall semester.
So what you're saying is you want to contact all these companies and go, please, if you guys are going to just screw up royally, can you do it before fall classes start?
I can even give them a specific date after I get the syllabus written.
Mary wants a cookie as typing.
Yep. I mean, it's half of what my work is, so in a way, yes. But also, I'm tired.
Okay.
Anyway, so Dilly is now just walking to the exact same rhythm as those steps.
As you guys could come out, you notice what once was a bustling city is now a ghost town. There is no one on any of the city streets whatsoever.
I'm staying in the outlet, by the way. I'm not marking with them.
What happened to my healed person? Where did they go?
You think you might have imagined it, or I don't have that much control over the soundscape of the domed city.
Dilly thinks they just took off their shoes.
And then turned invisible.
Yes.
Not to be hard to blend in, won't it?
So what would y'all like to do?
Besides... Hold on, Kiri's character. I know. I always called her Cass. Besides Aino and Adesh, does anyone else have on a work type uniform? Like, can I recognize my clothes if they mean anything?
That's fair.
You are wearing... everyone is basically wearing kind of tight-fitting clothing. You are actually wearing a uniform, as far as you can tell, and there's some sort of rank insignia on your collar.
Oh, crud. Do I know what that's for?
Oh, wait, no. You don't have... sorry. You actually have no rank insignia on your collar, but you know a normal uniform like this would have rank insignia. The fact that you don't have rank insignia is important, but you don't actually understand why that's important.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, you would see it, and you looking at Zariah, you do get this kind of very almost instinctual kind of chill that goes down your spine, and you feel this almost compulsion to kind of turn away and go in the other direction.
Cool. So I'm going to turn away and then go, wait, do I have one? And I'm going to be a dog chases its own tail.
Okay.
Trying to see.
Zariah's just going to stop her and put her hand on her shoulder.
They.
No. Sorry, they. We just talked about this. On their shoulder. No.
Dilly, you are wearing probably the most, like, you're the only person that's not in form-fitting clothing. The clothing that
Yay.
you're wearing is kind of baggy. It's a little bit ragged. You
Is it fun colors or is it blah?
it's mostly neutral colors, but it's extremely comfortable. Like
I'm glad
you
it's
notice
comfortable, but-
everyone else, like the uniforms, like they'll cut into your armpits a little bit or into your neck, but the clothing that you're wearing is very comfortable and very what's the word I'm looking for?
Able
Useful.
to move in it easily.
It's functional. There we go. It's extremely functional. Like everything that you're wearing, you just instinctively know. Oh, I'm wearing this because this has pockets here, and I have hidden compartments here, and all this stuff. Like the outfit that you're wearing is completely functional and gives you the most amount of movement but possible. And for some odd reason, that's important to you.
In terms of fit, this is great for functionality, but it's not very attention grabbing.
Oops, no, there's an M. Here we are.
And Imp, I have just read your the name that you've put in there, and I just want to say, if I was allowed to use stronger language, I would, but I'm simply going to say screw you.
So the other fun thing about that name is my nickname through all of high school was Pippin.
That does not surprise me.
Do I want to? Never mind.
Everything.
It's not for a bad reason. No, it's not from the musical.
It's not Pippin. Oh.
No. It's because I was in New Zealand on a trip right before high school, and one of the people there was like, your last name is Merriam-Pigg. If you shorten that to Merriam and then shorten that to Mary, Mary was best friends with Pippin, so we're going to call you Pippin. And then that stuck in high school too. So, yeah.
Idash, does your fancy helmet tell you what I'm wearing?
I am in
what
the
I
alley.
am. I know.
I'm back. Oh,
I've turned
Are
around.
you still here?
Yes, I never left.
Oh, I thought all of you went to this room. Sorry, what was the question?
Does your fancy helmet tell you what I am, or what I do, or where I'm supposed to be?
Well, hey GM, does my fancy helmet tell me what?
Unfortunately not. You get the idea that the version of the armor that you are wearing is like the rank and file version of it's mostly for protection and has very limited function.
No bells and whistles. Yeah.
Do I look like
that.
Do I look like the protectors that we saw?
Similar color scheme, but they were they actually had little bits, like they had pauldrons and little bits of armor kind of built into their clothing. You don't. You're wearing some sort of a uniform. You know that you are wearing a uniform, and that on anyone else there would be rank insignia. You'd have pips or something on your collar, and you specifically don't. But it is not a protector uniform.
I can only assume that it's some sort of maybe politician or government official thing, but low level. But this armor is not telling me anything about it.
My secretary. Ugh. She has no idea how that word popped into her head, but it did.
Nor do I know how the word politician popped into my head.
Yeah, you guys don't really do whole lot of politics in
although
high roll.
apparently it's just little baby politics, but that's it.
So Dilly, it takes you maybe
okay,
5 minutes to get to the because I think you were going towards the information terminal, right?
Well, I was, and then there was no one around.
Well, I would
and
say
it was a ghost town.
Maddo and Ino would probably have gone with you. Ino is incredibly interested in going to the information terminal. You may, if you let Ino play with the information
And Matt
terminal,
is
you
making
may
terrible
not get her
puns that
back.
thankfully I cannot do.
Well, I'm very suspicious of the ghost town.
Okay.
So I would have stopped when I noticed that the lovely steps I was trying to follow didn't exist anymore. And then I had the whole uniform thing occur. So
It does
I
seem
don't
like
think I've
there's some
gone
sort
yet.
of, it does seem like there's some sort of very strict work hour thing that has happened because that one person tried to grab someone and take them to work. So I think that being on the street in particular working uniforms right now would be suspicious to anyone else.
So it's
whose
the
job it
opposite
was
of
to
the
try out a street.
siesta time.
I think
Yes.
so.
Wait, Dilly, can you recognise if you're in a work uniform? Or is it just clothes?
I mean, this looks pretty worn to be a work uniform. Is it a work uniform?
No.
So I don't think this is a work uniform. I think I'm a degenerate.
Oh. How is that different?
I earned money before, and it was brighter clothing. There was color. There's no color here. Lots of pockets, though.
Even a beggar can earn money.
Dilly,
Since
you
it doesn't look like you're supposed to be at work, perhaps you would be a good person to go check the terminal.
You would also notice Maddo is not clothed entirely similarly to you, but Maddo is also not wearing the kind of form-fitting clothing that everyone else does. His clothing has a lot more pieces missing because you guys can see the metallic bits of his skeleton and arms and things like that. The cybernetic parts of him don't seem to have clothing covering them at all.
I was about to say, he's like Link where most of his chest shows.
Pants are also extinct in this world, so.
Right, so... Dilly,
Okay.
can you go check that? Wait,
right.
did we share our abilities with each
Dilly
other?
and Meadow, maybe?
I don't think you guys have specifically in character mentioned what your abilities are. Some of them are more obvious than others. Like everyone saw that there was two
of me.
Zariah for a bit, and you did try to kind of paint over Adesh's armor with your holograms.
Well, I asked that hypothetically. I didn't actually do it.
Oh, never mind then. But yeah, they would have seen two Zariahs for a moment. I don't think anyone, because Dilly is technically the only one that sees their power. So Dilly, you probably wouldn't have any idea of what they can do. And then, again, Ino has a now robotic fox companion. And
All my
Mado
magic
is a
seems
cyborg.
to be tied to my armor.
So you can shoot fireballs instead of cast them.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I'll go out into the city. I'm going to try and be sneaky about it.
Okay.
While singing the equivalent of this world's Mission Impossible theme song.
Okay.
Just under my breath to myself.
You get the idea that Mission Impossible, not quite as popular here. They only had one movie and it bombed. So, and the TV
Great.
show.
I switched to Peter Gunn.
There you go.
Because a song in 5/4 is a great
Terrible
choice.
place. Is this what happens when the Sheikah run everything?
Trying to think which Peter Gunn is.
Would you prefer I switch to Get Smart?
No. I know Peter Gunn, and for the life of me, I can't think of what it is. But it was in Spy Hunter. It was the Spy Hunter. That's Peter Gunn, right?
I must correct myself. The Mission Impossible theme is the one that's in 5/4. Peter Gun's 4/4.
Yeah, Peter Gun's 4/4.
Yeah. Sorry, I mixed them up. Anyway, so I switched from a 5/4 to a 4/4, and then I switched over to a different 4/4. My father is in the kitchen staring at me because he brought that up.
He's just staring at you in music, staring at you in music disapproval.
Well,
Dare
okay.
you say Peter Gunn is 5/4?
Okay, backstory. My parents wanted to enter to their wedding reception to Mission Impossible, but it was 5/4, and the band could not, for some reason, figure that out, so they did Peter Gunn instead.
How can you? Oh man, that's upsetting. Well, I guess again, my history is in jazz, which 5/4 is super common. Like it's one of the it's one of the things you after you learn how to do swinging eighth notes, you learn 5/4. Like that's how it works. And if you want to turn something into a jazz song, you just add an extra beat to a 4/4 song.
And maybe some dissonance.
Throw in some accidentals.
There are no wrong notes in jazz, just ones that sound better.
I'm not a fan of free jazz. Sorry.
So what's happening?
I believe Dilly has gone out to the terminal.
So Dilly, when you
some
get
sort
there,
of theme we don't recognize.
it asks for a login, which you instinctively know that you don't have one.
Well, I would like to talk to the machine.
But they had asked you nicely.
Yeah, can I enter, pretty please?
And using your interface ability, normally you would need to come up with some sort of login for them, but it's child's play for you to bypass this. Security is non-existent on these.
That sounds.
And then it simply asks, what do you want to know?
They didn't tell me what question I needed to ask questions. They just said, "Come here." What can you tell me? And I'm going to get a lot of information, I assume.
Yeah, basically, it like, do you want to build a snowman? Do you want to no, like basically, do you want to try to contact someone? Do you want information about? And there's just a list of topics that you can get information.
To be fair, we did ask you to see about like jobs in general, didn't we? Oh no, I'm sorry. That was just looking at your clothes. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to ask it, who do you think is most likely in this city to be okay making friends with a bunch of peaceful aliens? I'm killing Elias.
It has like a keyboard interface. It's not a vocal thing. And so typing that into their version of Google brings brings up the Hall of Stalkers, and gives you a map, and then gives you advice for how to avoid interacting with aliens and becoming contaminated.
Ah, cool. I'm going to put friendly in quotation marks in the search bar and see if that changes anything of the search.
Just putting a single word in quotation marks doesn't. If you put a plus next to it, it requires all searches to contain the word friendly. And
SEO tips from Tears of the Realms, everyone.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem it doesn't seem to be able to connect the words friendly and alien. Like the computer itself, those terms don't connect in the computer.
They program the computers to be prejudiced.
I mean, code is not neutral. So, lectures with Ilea. I go, okay, thank you for your time. And then I'm going to go back. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. To the alley, to the alley.
So Dilly returns humming a pretty catchy tune.
What did you find out?
We can't admit we come from another world. Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Did I say the word termination at some point?
Track so far with what we've
Termination,
seen?
no. You would have seen variations on the word capture and contain, but not termination.
Yeah, well, capture and contain in political speech is death. So, yeah,
The way that
they know about aliens here, other beings, but they're not nice to them.
Were you able to figure out what we're supposed to do or where we're supposed to be? If we're walking around not knowing who or what we are or where we're supposed to be.
One moment, please. And Dilly goes back.
Okay.
Wait. What if we have more questions? Don't go yet, Tilly.
Too late.
I'm going to try and wave them back.
While Dilly is going back and forth with however many trips they make.
Look, Dylan's got to get their steps in. They're used to a very high, like, energy workout level for every day, and this ain't it.
I'll just sort of muse in the corner here. It's like it kind of seems like we should lay low until there are people out again, and then maybe go to whatever equivalent of a
I agree with that, but if someone
they have here.
But if someone finds out what, like, if they know what I am, we could, like, exactly what happened with you or what happened with I know. Like, where am I supposed to be? Perhaps going to wherever we're supposed to be might find us more information.
Yeah, but if those of you with job roles go to your jobs, you're going to have to think a lot quicker on your feet than if you're just in a more casual environment.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
You know, we are
So
in
what
an
are you
alley.
saying?
No.
This feels like a great time to throw someone into a wall.
Dilly, have I
We don't
ever
have anyone
mentioned
strong
how
enough.
concerning some of your things that you say are?
Considering the last time the three of
No.
us were in an alley.
But you pay attention to what I say?
I'm sorry.
I'm not
What?
used to that from people who aren't strangers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What? What did you say?
I'm aware of your traumatic family history, random comments that you make throughout the past 6 months.
So,
And we still got to unpack Zariah's whole, my family will be destroyed if they know about my special powers. I think
no, we don't.
she's
That's
having
all
a
you
little
need to
crisis
know.
of faith there.
No, I'm not. Anyway. So what are we going to do? We can't stay in the alley. Someone's going to find us. Like,
did I find out job information and come back?
As you start basically looking for like a yellow or yellow pages or just something for like job searching, something that you find. I'm trying to think like classifieds. There we go.
Indeed.
Sheiked in. I like that. As you open up Sheiked In, you first realize the interface is crap. And as you try to create an account, it takes you like 7 hours, and they keep trying to send you, they keep saying, well, we've sent something to your email address, but then when you go to the email address, it doesn't show up for like 10 minutes. So you ask them to resend it, and by the time you get the first one, that one's already canceled because you told them to resend it. And
no, but wait, you have to wait 5 minutes before you can request a new code. So you have to sit there. It's not until after you hit the resend.
I have problems with LinkedIn. No, as you go, probably the strangest thing you notice is there's no way to look for a job on here. Like, there's no job listings, and as you look around, there's no, like, help wanted. There's nothing that would indicate anyone here ever looks for a job. And then as you were doing that, I'm going to use one of the GM intrusion tokens that I got.
There it is. On not me.
The screen kind of flashes You see the phrase, the shadows have been alerted and are on their way. Please stay here for their assistance.
Ah, thank you for letting me know. And I am going to not suspiciously run back to the alley.
Okay. I would say, since you're kind of connected to this, you do know that an imaging device has been turned on as soon as that message was there, so they can see you currently. If you would like, because again you're connected to it, if you'd like to try and turn it off or do anything like that, it would just be for you it'd be a difficulty 3.
Can I change my image in the imaging device to have a really theatrical mustache?
No, that would be a little bit beyond your ability here.
Fine.
But if you wanted to turn the camera off, that would be a difficulty 3 power.
Fine. I'll turn the camera off, and I'm going to go into a random number generator instead of the random number generator on Roll20.
That's not, okay.
Look, some random number generators are evil.
Yes,
Some
they
are
are,
less evil.
especially Roll20 and D&D Beyond.
Yep. There you are. Okay.
Fun fact,
So
one of the hardest things to do in programming is actually create actual randomness.
Yes.
okay. So, what do I need to roll?
A 9. Or
Difficulty
above.
3, so
Above
9
that.
or higher.
Great. I got an 11.
Cool. So yeah, as you see that they're now watching you, you just kind of go, oh, haha, swoop, and it turns off, and then you're able to go back to your alley. So you guys watch as Dilly comes in, and they look, I don't know, would you look slightly worried that you just tipped off someone called the Shadows?
I'm not gonna look worried.
Okay.
Because I'm used to hiding emotion for the sake of others. But I'm going to go, so, oh, no, there's no good news. There's something called the Shadows. We're being stalked. Yay.
Okay.
They
I have
made me,
questions.
Kappa.
I have GM questions.
Sure.
Number one, did we hear about, in any way, shape, or form, from said Heroes of the Realms, about the existence of, or previous existence of Shadow Stalkers?
Because everyone has memories of all 3 realms, all of you would be familiar with what the Shadow Stalkers were, and the fact that they didn't exist. They only
That is
existed
highly
in
confusing, but I'll accept it.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons why the Restoration was such a tumultuous time, because people would have 3 different memories of how their lives went, and 2 of them never happened, and that was a very difficult thing for a lot of people to deal with. But Shadow Stalkers, was part of a timeline that was kind of erased from existence. So you guys are familiar. You probably would not be super familiar with exactly the feelings surrounding them. You know that there was a group called the Shadow Stalkers that existed, but only the Heroes of the Realms would actually have memories of what they were actually like.
So, second question, because of inherent tier knowledge I have in my current role, do I know what the Shadows are?
You know that you, as a stalker, have no authority over shadows, nor does anyone else.
Great. Let's never mind that there were shadow stalkers, and now there are stalkers, and now there are shadows. Okay, well, I don't know a lot about shadows, but
Yeah.
I know
brief,
about shadows.
brief question.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the circus, it is often something you do that you wear makeup. Would I have eyeliner in a pocket?
You might have had eyeliner when you left Hyrule. You no longer have it in these pockets.
Okay. Do I have anything interesting in these pockets? Like charcoal?
Anything interesting like charcoal?
I'm gonna say
His camera just keeps moving every time he laughs.
I'm gonna say no, not with how this character is.
Gosh darn it. No fun.
What do you want to do?
We should leave and
Yes.
get as far away from that terminal as possible.
I
Find
want to
another
make
alley
a
that's little more low
disguise.
profile.
They definitely saw me.
They saw you without the mustache, and now I have a mustache version of my bounty.
Uh-huh.
I can work with that. We should still move. And you guys should move separately from me. I'll follow you from a distance.
I feel like I shouldn't be with Dilly and Maddo, though. I feel like that might be a problem.
Then we'll split off into as many groups as we think makes sense.
And 5 people walking around an abandoned city isn't going to make, not abandoned, but empty city isn't going to draw attention. Where are we going?
We'll each follow.
Are
Whoever
we going
leaves
to
first.
an inn?
I think if we went into
I
an
have
business
no
right
idea.
now, it would be suspicious. I think we should just move to an alley, and I guess I will go first.
Does Motto not
Just
have his
follow me.
shields?
He does. They're built into his arm now.
Can they separate from his arm?
He hasn't tried.
Okay.
I'm going to walk out of the other end of the alley that we've been using,
Mm-hmm.
and just go down a few blocks looking for even shadier looking alley.
As in dark, or as in like
Seedier.
maybe we shouldn't hang out with that alley?
Dark,
Definitely
small,
seedier.
easy to miss.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make me a just a power check, difficulty 2.
That's just barely a 6. Ooh.
Okay, well, still works. So as you come out, you come out to a different street than you were on before because you went out a different end, a different end of the alley.
And while I'm on the street by myself, I look like I'm just like on the lookout.
Mm-hmm. As you go, you do see 2 buildings that have like maybe a like 3-foot wide alley between them that almost wouldn't be classified as an alley because you can see like pipes and other things kind of going in between, but it was just the 2 buildings were not built to share a wall effectively. And you and it looks like it goes back a good like 20 or 30 feet, and then opens up onto something a little larger. So you think if you need to ditch someone, that probably wouldn't be the worst place in the world.
Right.
Using
So-
another GM intrusion token,
Never mind.
as you are looking around, you suddenly hear a voice from behind you. Stalker! Excuse me, Stalker! And you see 3 people dressed almost identically to Zariah. The only difference being they have some sort of rank insignia on... they all have different rank insignia on their collars. And you see the 3 of them come over. Excuse me, Stalker. Apologize for interrupting you and whatever you're doing here.
I turn around slowly and face them directly.
There seems to be a fugitive around here. We had them on camera, and they kind of described where the booth was that Dilly went to. But they somehow were able to disrupt the visual feed. Have you seen anyone recently? You would have needed to see them if you've been around here for any length of time.
I haven't seen anyone on this street. I'm chasing a bounty.
Billy's gonna try and get further into the shadows. Because I assume I hear the conversation from the alley.
They're far enough away from the alley that you probably wouldn't.
Great. I'm not leaving the alley.
The three shadows go.
I don't know what occupation these people are yet. Or anything.
You kind of put two and two together and know that they are shadows. You know.
Oh, okay. So it's a rise of shadow.
And they go. It's really strange. What is your order? When you hear that equivalent to kind of rank, and you instantly you are sixth order, which is the lowest rank stalker.
6 is it's reversed. I understand.
Yeah, it's reversed. First order is
okay.
top.
6 orders. 6th order. Identification number 8675309. Call sign a dash bounty. I put up a mustache.
And they kind of stop you.
Let me know what else you need to know.
So you don't have your flight. Shit. Well, listen.
Not yet.
If you see someone and they give you a brief description of Dilly, if you see someone that fits this description, don't hesitate. Capture them by whatever means necessary and contact the shadows.
I will. Is there a way to take notes on a second disc of a separate bounty for the same person?
You on the arm that doesn't have a gun.
Okay,
on
sure.
It, you can kind of. Or wait, no, on
I'll
the arm that does
with
have a
fingers,
gun on it. So you have fingers. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they on the there's a little kind of pad that you can kind of take your own notes and stuff like that on. So
yeah, I'll do that. Got it. Yep, I'll keep an eye out.
Great. And you see them start coordinating. They kind of split up and start going around. One of them starts heading down the alley or heading for the alley that you came out of.
I'm just gonna. I don't think I have any way to communicate silently from that distance, so I'm just gonna hope that they've been peeking around that corner and see them and can handle it themselves. And once I see no attention on me, I'm gonna slip into that small alley.
All right. So Dilly and Zariah, you guys watched as Adesh kind of wandered off from the opposite direction, and you haven't heard anything for a little bit, but suddenly you start hearing footsteps getting louder and louder, and they're not the kind of metallic footfalls that Adesh has been making. These sound like boot falls, and they start getting closer and closer to the alley. What would y'all like to do? You are muted.
You muted checks.
Tongue wagging didn't tell you all.
You know what? My
You're not a rel.
my tongue wagging
right.
was not. I'm not quite as fluent in tongue wagging as I used to be. So
You need more practice. Okay.
Maybe you just are a rel.
I meant it as a language, not a usage. But I imagine they'd be very successful as a usage if they have it as a language. Sorry. Dilly.
I'm really starting to think.
I was around for 3 years.
the best thing about
It's
this
rubbed off.
is I've known Chex slightly longer than I've known her as a rel, and a rel was such a shock to me when she first, because that was not who Jax was during Twitch Sings and all that. She was just very kind of polite and never said anything naughty at all. And
Well, it's who Chax is now.
apparently we have corrupted this poor girl.
No, just during realms. Anything that has the word realms in it. I'm either going to be really mean or hit on you.
Or both.
Maybe
you know?
both. Yeah, exactly.
Someone's kink.
Yes, it is. I am wearing boots. Dilly. Can you hide? Is there any place for you to hide?
Is the wall scalable?
It looks difficult. The walls are relatively smooth, but every so often there'll be things that kind of jut out from them. So theoretically possible, it'll be rough.
How tall is Zariah?
Short.
How tall is the wall? Tall.
Yeah, you guys are in between two, probably 15 to 20-story buildings.
Is there anything to hide in or near in this alley?
There's some like garbage cans and like dumpster type things that you could try to hide behind, but there's nothing that's going to give you kind of complete cover in this alley.
So Zariah's going to put her hands behind her back and sort of have her... I forget in this realm, what am I using for my medium?
What do you mean you're...
Just like I had my my staff or my stick before.
You still have the stick. The stick just... Okay. You put holograms on it instead of shadows is the only difference. So you still have your stick.
All right. So she's going to sort of put her stick out, or her stick behind her back, and put her arms behind her back. And can she make a hologram of the wall?
Ooh. I would like to be behind Zariah.
Can she make one? Absolutely. However, it will still look strange because you have two kind of flat walls and then just a wall sticking out randomly. So while, yes, you 100% could make a hologram of a wall, the issue is going to be it will still look kind of out of place to have a random wall showing up.
Is this alley not a dead end? Is it a through?
It's a through. He went out the other... Adesh went out the other side, so...
Then, can I make the equivalent of a dumpster? If they're just trash cans. All right.
Sure. I'm going to say, go ahead and just give me a power roll, just because this is a little bit beyond just kind of creating a weapon or something like that. We'll call this a difficulty 3 check, because this is a little bit more advanced construct than you're used to making.
Power. Can I... 12.
12 is more than enough. So yeah, are you going to attach it to your rod, or are you just going to freeform it?
Can I freeform it?
I would say it increases the difficulty, but you've already rolled above what the increased difficulty would be. So
okay, then yeah, if it's possible to freeform it, yes, please.
Okay, so yeah, I will say you've never done this before. So when you are done doing this, it is very much something you didn't think was... You definitely couldn't have done it with your shadows before.
Right.
So...
Yeah,
Dilly, you basically people. Watch as Zariah kind of goes there and just starts kind of building from the floor, and you watch Zariah just kind of building up, and from the inside, it just looks like kind of random LED lights and stuff like that. Like, it's really kind of weird. But from the outside, it looks like a relatively convincing dumpster. The only issue you get, because it's so large, you don't think it's particularly sturdy. So if somebody, hits it or runs into it or something, you think it'll probably collapse. But
stay behind this and don't talk.
Did it kind of build up brick by brick?
Sure.
So I'm Cask of Amontillado.
Sure. Da 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 da.
Don't sing either.
I didn't do anything.
So after you complete this,
couple of step forward.
It's literally a few seconds after you complete this. You say, "Just don't talk." You suddenly see these three people wearing uniforms that look almost identical to you, except they have rank. And the one with the highest rank on them sees you and goes, "Oh, and just immediately looks down, and the other two people just immediately look down. Extremely sorry. we didn't. I mean, of course, we wouldn't know, but I mean, we couldn't. Your orders?
What is your purpose of being here?
There was
Zariah likes the authority.
there was a
Couldn't
breach
tell.
at one of the information terminals. There was a vagrant that was there. We were sent to pick them up because they were asking questions that set
You're
off.
wasting my time and your time
I'm
on a
extremely
vagrant.
sorry. We're looking for and they give a description of Dilly. Extremely sorry. We didn't know.
Is this important enough, a vagrant, to waste our time?
I'm very, very sorry. We're just doing what we were told. We were
Do
not...
something more important. Go.
Yes, of course. And we of course will never mention this at
Go.
And they run off.
Not powerful, I like it.
We are very different in this world.
We are. Oh, that seemed appropriate. I enjoyed that.
So you're the kid of Zolta, huh?
Of course.
Yeah, not worrisome at all. Getting a taste for power.
We knew the dangers going in.
You did. Zolta and Kes. She has a notebook and a sense of entitlement.
Soon we'll start looking for waitstaff again.
No, I
I mean,
mean,
not the big bad.
I'm
So
looking
what's
for my
the mother
butler
of
and
the big
personal
bad?
maids now. I've upgraded from just servants.
I'm always looking for waitstaff in my heart.
So after they leave, you suddenly start feeling kind of a strain, and you realize leaving this object up, as complicated and big as it is actually kind of starting to drain your kind of concentration. You realize you had to actually concentrate on keeping this form up, which is another thing that generally doesn't happen with the shadows. The shadows, for you, is normally they're like building blocks. You just kind of put them together, but for whatever reason, this is requiring concentration for you.
Shadows are my Legos. And Zariah's gonna like try and figure out why she's getting exhausted, and when she's doing that, she's gonna let it drop.
Okay, and then you watch, Dilly, you watch as the kind of field around you just kind of disintegrates and melts into nothingness.
A little scared of Zariah at the moment. Dilly is still not going to be fully loud and just go, I'm free.
But you're not dead.
I'm free.
We freed them.
We freed them all. Apparently, I could have freed them, and I could free you. I like this.
I
I need
vote
to
no.
find out where I work. So, do I have any idea of what I am now? Like who they are? Like Adesh figured it out that they were stalkers. Do I have any idea?
So they aren't stalkers; they're what are called shadows.
Oh, I'm sorry, shadows.
And you
Shadow
recognize
stalkers. Shadows stalkers.
Shadow
Wait,
stalkers. Exactly. Exactly.
there's words for all of there's reasons for all of this, and you recognize all of their insignia. Effectively, you just saw like a pair of lieutenants, like a pair of second lieutenants and a first lieutenant. If we use officer ranks that we're familiar with, relatively low-ranking people.
Higher. Interesting.
And
they were scared of me.
you
Interesting.
go ahead and make me.
I like that.
I guess I'll let you choose.
What color?
You can choose wisdom or power to roll, but just make me one of those. This will be a difficulty 2 task.
Okay, sorry. Hold on. Let me pull up my sheet again.
The way Zariah's talking, it's definitely a power roll.
It is a power roll. I got a nat 1, so I'm going to use my reroll token.
Go for it.
Let's try that again, and we're going to change die.
I mean, you don't want to give me another intrusion?
No, I got a 16.
16. Cool.
All right.
So-
not using those. Let me put them away.
You start kind of putting two and two together with the fact that not only do you not wear a rank,
Bad red die.
but they recognized that you not having a rank made you very dangerous. And the word that comes to mind in your head is Mist Shadow. Is your official title.
I like that.
And you don't actually, you effectively don't exist. You the reason you don't wear a rank is you don't have one. And you are not acknowledged. Officially, you don't exist.
Section 31.
But they still knew who I was.
Yes,
Because it's still
because
recognizable within the system.
the shadows would be aware that there are mist shadows, but they're not allowed to acknowledge you. They're not allowed to acknowledge you because they're supposed to pretend that there are no mist shadows. You are
There is
effectively
no Death Star.
you are effectively if you have ever seen the Serenity, the movie,
Yes.
you are an operative.
Okay.
Like, you have no rank because you don't exist. You do the jobs that and only extremely high-ranking people and members of the Shadows know that you exist at all. Anyone else, and they are particularly told to never admit that you exist. You do the stuff. Mist Shadows are basically to do the stuff that they need plausible deniability about.
I am not there, but do I know about Miss Shadows?
You personally wouldn't know anything about Mist Shadows.
Okay.
Aside from very high-ranking politicians and Shadows themselves, no one...
Yeah.
You might have heard whispers and stuff. Like, there's always rumors about clandestine organizations and stuff like that. But it's always written off as, QAnon nonsense.
So, do I know anything about where I'm supposed to be?
No.
Or do I know if I run into a protector in my uniform, I'll be questioned right now? Like,
You think, because you are not currently wearing a rank, anyone that doesn't know about Mist Shadows would simply assume that you are a shadow and would probably question you as to why you're not wearing your rank.
okay.
But shadows in general are above the law, effectively.
Okay. So
So
Zariah,
if a protector stopped you, you could tell them what to do. Even without a rank,
even without a rank.
you could still tell them what to do.
Okay. Well, Zariah, realizing how they reacted and thinking how anyone else will react, she's going to essentially put her rod back where it goes, because I imagine she now has some sort of holster.
Sure.
Okay. And she's going to have it like manifest one of the higher ranks on her collar.
Okay. I will say, again, just like, well, I guess only having that. Yeah, no. I was about to say, keeping things consistent for long periods of time is mentally draining on you. With something that small, you probably wouldn't notice it for hours.
Okay.
But it is
I
something
figured
that'll...
since I was still touching my rod, though, it would.
The rod doesn't technically do anything. It's an object that you use. The power to manifest the stuff comes from you personally, not the rod.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, with something so small, like you would have hours before you would even notice it's a strain.
Okay. She's going to be sad that she just lost a whole bunch of power, and she knows she did.
Or it's not losing, it's just mental.
Authority over
Oh, yeah.
other people.
As in putting a rank means you are no longer rankless.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm now known.
So,
Right. So I can now scare people. I enjoy that. But we need to move. So was my when I was originally standing next to Adesh and talking to the civilian, was there any sort of reaction there? Because civilians would have recognized me, correct?
technically, yes, but stalkers are just more noticeable because they have armor, while you're just wearing a uniform that if they looked directly at you, of course they will go, ooh, boom, shadow. But you have a dude with a giant gun on his arm.
Yeah.
Like, it draws attention.
I'm the muscle.
Yeah. But I was talking to him directly.
Yeah,
and he was asking if I wanted to go to a hospital.
Yeah, at that point, because you were in an alley and it was dark and you guys were on the ground, they probably weren't really looking at your clothing too much. It was
we weren't
more
in an alley.
When they asked the person that found you guys, when you first appeared, you were in an alley. Unless I'm...
No, we went into the alley. We were in the middle of the street. Or not the street, but we were on the sidewalks.
Did we start in an alley and then go into the street and then go into another alley, and now we're on our way to a third alley?
I didn't think we were originally in an alley.
When you first got in, you
think
were
it was
in
nondescript.
You were
okay.
off the beaten path because no one was running over you. If you had appeared in the middle of the street, you would have been trampled.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were more looking at the fact that you were all on the floor and looked...
That's right.
You know, you
Confused.
looked hurt because you were lying on the floor in a tangled, jumbled mess. So he probably didn't even clock your uniform because it's just form-fitting and dark.
Okay. So we need to move. So it doesn't seem like anyone but shoot. but I know should be someplace in particular.
As far as you can tell, yeah, Ino seems to be the only one that has a job here. Other than, obviously, Adesh has a job, but he doesn't seem to have a desk.
And I have a job.
We're a bunch of
You have a job too, but...
No one knows what my job is.
Professional boogeyman.
Yes.
I suggest we move in the opposite direction of those people.
So which way did they go? Did they go back towards Adesh, or did
they went
go
back towards Adesh?
Okay, good. Because they would have gone past my illusion.
Quickly.
Okay. Okay. If I was seen with Adesh, would that draw added questions? Would I know that?
To be perfectly honest, you're not 100% sure. The stalkers, in and of themselves, like the Hall of Stalkers is technically outside the city because the stalkers are not part of the hierarchy. However, while inside the city, shadows have ultimate authority.
Okay.
So it would be... you're not 100% certain because, again, this is all just information that you don't think you should have.
Right.
But you're relatively certain that a high enough ranking stalker and a high enough ranking shadow would probably make for a very interesting pissing contest to see whose authority actually outranked the other one. So...
Can't wait to tell her I'm a lowest ranking stalker.
Adesh, I challenge you to a pissing contest.
Meanwhile, Dash is just like sitting on a bucket in a dark alley somewhere, just like, we're right behind you.
Gee, I hope they're okay.
So going back to Adesh, this whole conversation and everything probably took a better part of about 15 minutes. So you've been in this alley now for about 15 minutes. And you would notice as the shadows that you talked to before would have passed by your alley, and they looked spooked as they go by, and they completely missed you being in the alley. Like they didn't even look down.
Gonna hold a few, maybe a minute, until they have spooked their way in the opposite direction, and then peek out and look back at what they seem to be spooked at. Assuming I don't see much of
There's
anything.
nothing on the street that you can see.
I will casually walk out of the alley and walk back to alley number 2.
Okay.
Assuming that the rest of my party will be there.
Yeah. So, Dilly and Zariah, you guys see Adesh comes back.
What happened?
Apparently, I'm very scary and very powerful, and I quite enjoy it.
We'll address that problem later. We need to go.
That's what I was waiting in the alley number 3.
You were waiting.
Yes, but then some
plan was
shadows approached us.
Oh yeah, I was going to warn you guys. There's shadows on the street.
Really?
You were going to warn us, but instead you were waiting.
And actually, you know, Zariah, I think you might be a shadow.
Oh, did you know I'm a shadow? A very powerful
shadow.
I
figured it out once I saw the other shadows.
Oh, goodness.
You're powerful? I thought you didn't have a badge or something.
No, I'm apparently very powerful.
But
now you do
all
see that there is... Now you do see that there is a little insignia.
Wait, why? I'm so confused. Hang on. Okay. Did they give you a rank or something? Did you
No,
I
made it. I still have my... They're not shadow powers here. It's holograms. I still have that power. It's fake. She's going to turn it off.
So you made a hologram. Okay. I see.
It seems
and
safer.
Is there a reason you added it?
Yes, because apparently I'm terrifying to other shadows. And it seems...
that's very unrelated, but...
It seems like I will draw too much attention if I'm without rank.
Okay.
It's weird playing a character with you guys. It's actually smart.
I'm still a little confused about that, but is the plan still to move to an alley so where people don't know where we are?
We need to move somewhere.
And
we can't
is
stay
Dilly
here.
still in danger?
Dilly is still in danger, apparently.
Okay, well let's...
They're looking for her. So,
I will go back, and please follow me at a distance this time. I will go back, and please follow me at a distance.
I mean, don't interact with any shadows this time.
I cannot control in random government officials.
Maybe not,
AKA government intrusions. Or government GM intrusions. Governing management.
Government.
You are in this realm. You are the governing management.
I leave.
Big Brother is watching.
Go back to alley number 3.
Okay.
And then wait on my bucket.
So I don't understand the point of constantly changing alleys. We need to get somewhere where there's not... Where we can at least... goodness. As Adesh walks away. She's like muttering this.
Well, if you're talking while I'm walking.
Okay. All right. We need to go somewhere that's not an alley. If we run into more protectors or more shadows or more stalkers... I said that wrong, sorry. We're going to have problems. We need to move.
Well,
somewhere, not an alley.
Where I am coming from is if we go into a tavern in the middle of this workday, it seems like a very strict workday and work hours here. I think we would draw suspicion, especially if we were together, because you're a shadow, I'm a stalker. I don't know what everyone else is, but it seems like we, in theory, shouldn't just be mingling.
Vagrants, apparently. Dilly is a vagrant.
I'm pretty sure I'm a criminal.
No, I think you're homeless.
A criminal.
Which fits.
I mean, I've got a lot of pockets in this outfit.
Yeah, that's true.
You have anything interesting in them, like charcoal?
Can I check my pockets to see if there's anything interesting? Apparently not charcoal.
You're going to pull out a gun and...
You find a
whole bunch of jewelry.
I hit my gun back.
A half-eaten sandwich wrapped in butcher paper. You find a some like broken cogs and washers and things like that in another pocket. You find what looks like probably used to be some sort of a hairpin, but has been broken in half.
Hmm.
Are you pulling these things out? Okay.
Yes.
Zariah is watching in utter confusion.
Yeah, so nothing interesting. Okay.
And then you also find like, oh, I can't remember what they're called. We used to call them cottontails, but basically kind of like fluff in one of your
Lint?
pockets. Not really lint, more like raw cotton.
Hmm. Now I just need some Vaseline and then I can set fire to things.
What's
Okay.
Vaseline?
Puts it
So-
back.
What's Vaseline? Do I have that information?
Guessing one of those things that Dilly just knows.
Yeah.
It's like
Dylan
something
sometimes
that
says things that make no sense.
Is that
something that
petroleum?
they invented specifically for their traveling circus. It's a type of lubrication that they use.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna call it Vaseline.
Avoid those copyrights.
Yeah.
The amazing Vaseline.
Vas
what-
line. It's Vas.
At,
No,
at,
this is
you have an
vase.
accent.
at one point, there were attempts that you were going to try and snake oil salesman. This is like a miracle cure for a bunch of things. You realize that it's actually very useful as a lubricant, but
Type of lubricant.
You're
Sorry.
not around.
Sorry, Arel isn't here right now.
She
Please.
has been influenced by Rel. She hung out
I
with
mean,
Rel
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, clearly. I'm sure Zolta's not happy about that.
No.
Zolta's not happy about a lot of things.
I mean, you can use
Zolta's
it.
actually pretty happy about a lot of things these days.
No. But I mean, you can use it on doors. You can use it on wheels. Like, there's a lot of usage for lubricants.
if I remember correctly, I think Vaseline is water-based, right? So it's not great on mechanical things. So it causes them to rust.
She has no idea about that.
Okay.
She just
You
heard
can use it
lubricant.
on your lips.
She just heard lubricant.
Anyway, those are my concerns about going into a building. Do you think that they're founded or not? We could
I
keep
think we
talking
should
about
find out
Baseline
how to
all
get
day,
on
but-
a building.
How
Do
would that be
we
better
notice?
than an alley?
So, do we notice any surveillance cameras or anything around? Since you'd mentioned that Dilly was being captured on
You know
the
that each-
information system.
Each one of the information booths has a camera in it because you're meant to be able to communicate with it. And you know that most of the traffic lights have cameras in them to catch like speeding and stuff like that. But as far as like surveillance around the entire, you are not personally aware of surveillance like that.
Okay.
Apparently Vaseline is oil based.
So, I was just planning on lying low in an alley until rush hour, where it would be more appropriate to go into a bar. But if you think there'd be benefit to doing that before that, I am all ears.
Zerai, you do get the idea that because you're a shadow, if you were to tell, like if you were to go somewhere and people were to start getting antsy and you were to tell them to not be antsy, they would probably listen to you.
And then be more antsy.
Yeah, they'd be more antsy, but you have a significant amount of authority here that Adesh simply doesn't, simply because his job is to hunt for people and yours is to be obeyed.
I also have not been told.
Definitely
that you're some
Zolta's
kind of-
child.
I also have not yet been told that that you're some kind of super secret
Yeah.
No,
shadow yet.
I haven't shared that information, and I probably won't for some
Yeah.
time.
Cool. Great.
But I
awesome,
heard
thanks.
that entire exchange.
You did, so you know I have power, but
Yeah.
you don't know.
I don't know the intricacies. I just know that I should hide behind brick walls you create
And
and let you deal with it.
and Zariah's realized she probably shouldn't tell Dilly things. Or I know. They tend to come out of their mouths inconveniently.
Look, lying doesn't make sense.
I know, like,
There's a time and
who
place.
lies? I mean, like, is there any point?
Says the person who says she goes incognito.
Look,
Yes.
verbally
And
lying,
infiltrates by and says nothing apparently.
verbally
Nothing by
lying doesn't
omission,
make
so that's
sense.
lying as well. So let us go somewhere. She's starting to
I
really feel powerful.
disagree.
You have no right to disagree, apparently.
Yes, I do.
I have the power here. So.
I'm an autonomous being. I have the right to disagree.
Zariah, if you, as your parent station, can come up with some sort of an excuse as to why the 5 of us in different occupations and very attention-grabbing outfits, in my case, can all be traveling together, then by all means, I will follow your lead into
Do I
wherever
need
you
an
want to go.
excuse? Can
go
I
to
just
try
tell
and
people
find
to
someone.
ignore us?
I really
Walk
don't know.
in.
I wasn't here.
So I have that knowledge, correct? That,
I
I think you just said that.
For most people, whatever you say, you think they will do their best to agree with. If you start dealing, like, protectors might cause a little bit of issues at first, and if you run into another shadow, especially since now that you have a rank, that will cause issues. Especially
Right.
since, what rank are you familiar with officer ranks?
Not so much anymore.
Okay,
But a lot of stars.
Well,
What-
that
how-
I know.
So, you have your
Higher rankings than the one we saw, like
Okay.
possibly 1 or 2 above them, because I
Major.
realized that they said they were fairly low. Well, I know
So-
there's chief.
no. So second, first lieutenant, captain. What is it? Captain, major, colonel, light colonel, colonel, and then you get into generals.
Okay.
If I remember
then-
correctly. Let's go. U.S. officer ranks. I think I'm missing a rank in there. So second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, and then the generals. So the ones that you dealt with before were first lieutenants. So directly above them would be captain, and then above that is major. And once you start getting to lieutenant colonel and colonel, those are relatively
desk
high
jobs.
ranks. Yeah. So captain tends to be kind of the lowest rank, where you are you're given your own group of people and you're relatively respected.
Okay.
Second lieutenants are butter bars. They have authority. No one respects it.
About to say they gave up on on questioning me pretty easily.
Yeah. So, the insignia for a second lieutenant is a gold bar, and so that's why they call them butter bars. And they're the lowest officer rank you can have, and you're generally promoted within a year if you don't get yourself killed out of that. And so most of the military does not particularly respect second lieutenants. So for right now, to make things easier, we're going to call you a captain. You have a captain rank, so
All right. Thank you.
that is O3. So that's the third
Okay.
level of officer.
Okay. I know it by letters.
Yeah, so you're O3.
I don't know it by titles. Okay. Thank you.
So as you guys are getting ready to go, I'm going to use another intrusion token because I've got so many. And you suddenly hear kind of like a klaxon sound, and it repeats for a little bit, and then you hear kind of an announcement: "Attention! A criminal has been sighted within the city. If anyone comes across a person fitting the description, and they kind of give a physical description, but you also notice that every one of the information booths has like a picture of Dilly on them. Immediately report it to a protector or a shadow. This is not optional. Anyone found aiding will be punished.
Well, I suppose you're sticking with me, Dilly.
I would really like to find some kind of charcoal or paint or anything that could be spread in a mustache-like consistency across my upper
First
lip.
stop. First stop, art supply store.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're going to Michael's.
Yep.
What would you all like to do?
I think Dilly needs to stay here. We need to get them a disguise or something.
Okay.
And then we can caravan as we see fit.
I would love a disguise. Find me a costume.
Probably civilian clothes might be better. Maybe a hat.
I know.
Okay, but what's my character?
I know kind of perks up. When people saw me in this clothing, they did not seem to think there was anything wrong with me. And Dilly and I, we are of similar size. What if we just trade clothing? I mean, it looks very comfortable, and I think I would wear it very well, and I think a key would have no problem.
Would it make sense for you to have a mechanical fox then?
Well, a key can hide in many places. You said there's lots of pockets.
There are lots of pockets.
But that doesn't change your face.
Again, mustache.
Just trying to help.
And we just try to find.
I like how slightly
Nice.
Italian you're starting to sound.
It's not my accent. I generally don't
I know.
like taking control of other players' characters when they're not here, but it seemed like something Kiri would come up with. So,
Yeah.
Kiri, you can get mad at me later.
So what are we doing here? I am limited.
Imp has
with what I
made the
can do.
suggestion of several of you have hair. Find some scissors.
I have a helmet.
You do.
I don't have feathers anymore, do I?
You don't. You realize you have kind of a distinctive pattern on your skin that looks feather-like, but you don't seem to have feathers.
So if you have hair here and you cut your hair here, what will happen to your feathers when we go back?
I'm not cutting
Plucked.
anything.
Yeah, I think Dilly, you're the only one who needs to worry about changing their appearance.
Okay, but I don't have that much hair anyways.
We can. Zoraya, you seem to be able to do whatever you want around here.
Yes,
Can you go find some stuff for Dilly, perhaps?
sure. Zorai is going to walk out into the street as though she knows where she's going.
Okay.
And
Get
try
me
to
a
find-
mustache!
Shut up.
And then
And
just
she's
silently,
walked, like, out.
Dilly is still gonna mouth.
Zorai is not even going to turn around. She's going to go and try and find the nearest clothing store.
Remarkably enough, in the area that you're in, there are no clothing stores anywhere.
It's not
that
like
you can see.
retail.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be a huge retail thing. Like most of the buildings you see are either living quarters or there's a decent number of like restaurants and things like that here. But this particular part of the city doesn't seem to have any other retail aside from like food service.
All right. Zorai is going to figure out where there's a back door to one of these restaurants.
Okay. No problem whatsoever finding a back door.
Cool. She's going to open the door.
Okay.
And look at the nearest chef, perhaps.
You see a guy with a big meat cleaver that seems to be portioning some sort of dead animal. And he just looks at you with the most perplexed look of surprise and kind of indignation almost. He's got big, like, tattooed arms, wearing like a wife beater kind of thing, and just is not processing what he's seeing.
Delicious. She's going to walk past him and try and find someone of a shorter stature.
Okay.
So she's not going to go out into the restaurant. She's still in the kitchen. So
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes. I'm guessing maybe there's like a waiter or a busser or something that's coming back.
We're looking for a waiter. We're looking for a waiter.
You do find in the back end, you don't see any waitstaff or anything, because it doesn't look like this is the kind of a restaurant that has waitstaff. You do find a dishwasher that's similar in size to Dilly, though.
All right.
It's wearing an apron and some kind of more raggy clothes, and has not really a toque, but has a hat to keep their hair up and everything.
Okay, she's going to walk right up to him and get really close.
Okay.
Hopefully he notices her at this point.
He's washing dishes and suddenly feels like a presence behind him, and he kind of turns, and you get splashed with dirty dishwater. And then he kind of looks up, realizes what he just did, and just freezes.
She's going to look down at her uniform. Rag, now.
And without breaking eye contact, he reaches over and brings over kind of dirty rag.
She takes it and drops it.
No, take his clothes as the rag.
No, I'm going to order him to strip.
And he just, as you say that, he just looks at you as like,
Well, she didn't hear that.
oh, I thought you
No.
said.
Yeah, no.
No, I just said it in my character voice because I'm like thinking about what she's going to say next.
So he sees you drop the rag, and he's like, and he starts just looking around. There doesn't seem to be any like decently good rags around, because he's in the middle of cleaning up for breakfast. You watch him just kind of go over, and he gets the cleanest things that he can find, which are relatively clean, and kind of gives them to you. And you see he's trying to say something. Nothing
She
is
just
coming
takes
out.
them and starts like patting her clothes. Strip now. Now.
You watch, just like
undergarments.
very dejected, he starts untying his apron. He takes it off, and he just kind of looks up for confirmation.
And she's just glaring at him at this point. She was going to ask him if he had additional clothes, but he splashed her with water.
You see him, he starts taking off his shirt, and he kind of throws it down, and
Faster!
he takes off his pants, and now he's just sitting there in his underwear, and he just kind of looks down, and he looks up, and he's like, you can see him kind of pleading in his eyes. Yeah, he already took that off.
He has everything.
He's,
She's going to look at him and click her tongue and take the clothes and walk out.
I would like to point out that I paid waiters. I never made them strip.
Wait, she was also influenced by Arel. Come now. Before she leaves, she's going to like cluck her tongue. And I was never here.
They all like shake their head furiously.
Good. And she leaves and slams the door.
As you go out, you can hear from the room that you just, what the heck are you doing in your under? And the door slams.
Soraya's going to take a very deep breath because she is still covered in dishwasher. That was not enough napkins. And walk back to Dilly and hand her the clothes.
Yeah.
Put these on. Sacrificed my dignity for you.
Can I find some charcoal in the pocket
No,
of the...
you cannot. Put it on.
You're not in charge here, GM.
I watched him take off everything. I know what's in his pockets.
It is a restaurant.
This Raya
Charcoal
gets
is
so power
often in
hungry.
restaurants.
She
Not
tries
in
to
a
DM the
dishwasher.
game.
Yeah, does he have like a pencil or something in case he needed to take orders?
No, he's a dishwasher.
You're not in charge.
I know as a server
Stop
and a
it.
general manager of a restaurant. I know these
That's
things.
fine. This is a different world.
Fair enough.
Dishwasher stuff. They
We have
get
fun here at
soaked.
Tears of the Realms.
Like they don't.
Yes, that's fine. I just want some charcoal, damn it.
No.
While she's gone, you find like a dirty rock on the ground that you think will leave a mark on you.
Great. I draw a funny French mustache.
Okay.
Soraya comes back and sees this and goes, "Oh,
I found the
Actually, no, she
charcoal.
doesn't.
I got a mustache.
wrong book. Goodness.
Are these clean?
No, they're
Takes
not.
the clothes. Oh.
They're better than what you're wearing.
He was
Subjective, but
finishing the breakfast rush dishes, so the
So
apron is
they're also
relative-
partially wet.
yeah, they're the apron is the most wet. The clothes underneath it are somewhat drier. It's one of the useful things about an apron.
Putting on wet clothes.
Your clothes are dry. The apron's wet.
It's
So you can leave off the apron for now.
yeah. I'm not wearing the apron. I
You
could
will carry
when
the
it
apron.
dries. It can be a
And then the hat has like a ring of sweat around it.
I would like to invert the hat.
Okay.
Good. Then I don't have to touch the sweat part. Leave that
Quickly, Elias from Emperor P, take a player intrusion token.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if this is an
Emperor P.
apology for beating you yesterday or not, but
I
By
think
the
I
way-
need at least 10 more tokens to get a full apology on that.
by the way, Peyton, we may or may not have been talking about how you beat Elias, and my response when he said it was like, "You lost to Peyton?" So
That feels
Could have
insulting.
got that.
He just sat up.
You marry?
Yay! Thank you.
all right, so hold on a second.
That just sucks at a link to the past, so.
All right, so real quick, hold on. Am I getting? All right, Peyton, just
Hello,
when
Peyton.
you're done,
Hey.
let me know. Just type something in chat when you're done, because I'm gonna get confused trying to redeem
Who's-
all these.
P2, P3, P4, P6. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's your name. 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry.
Peyton is trying to count, but Peyton also wrote 4 twice.
Yeah, and that was when I started going, okay, screw this.
He just woke up.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, that being said, now Dilly looks like a dishwasher.
Can she talk to herself?
Them.
Can they talk to themselves? I even did the Arai thing, and I made a sticky note just for you, and it's right under my camera.
All right, so it seems
I appreciate
that
you.
a grand total of 10 player intrusion tokens for Elias.
Very nice.
And then from Mary, Chax gets a player intrusion token, and Ilea gets a player intrusion token.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's really sweet. You said you needed 10 intrusion tokens for the apology, and he gave you 10 intrusion tokens.
Yes, Peyton is so sweet.
And as a
That
reminder,
was very nice.
Yeah.
if you want, one of the things you can use your intrusion tokens for is to basically cancel a GM intrusion. So,
So just yell, haha, negated.
yeah.
You fell for my trap card.
I
You
am
can only
neither
d-
Curie nor do I watch Yu-Gi-Oh.
The only way you can do that is
Your
if you
trap
lower
card
your
fell
voice
for
and go,
my trap
"You
card."
have fallen for my trap card." Because everybody knows if you are good at collectible card games, your voice drops into the base register.
Swords of light.
Swords of revealing light.
So
It
they
is-
have
Thought that
an
voice didn't
outfit
fit.
now, but still look like Dilly.
I have a French
Yeah, but they
mustache
have
now.
And
a
a hat.
large French mustache
Where did that
painted
mustache
in
come from?
grease.
Grease.
If can you undo the mustache on my bounty then? Because
No, it's
now
a different
just sitting-
mustache. They're different mustaches.
Yeah. The one on the
Uh-huh.
bounty has like the Yosemite Sam style, like big bushy one. And Dilly now
Nice,
looks
yeah.
like a
Okay.
gentleman thief that happens to also wash dishes.
Well, shall we
Dance.
look for a scientist type or something who no?
Could have done.
What's our next move here?
Shall we say goodbye and good night and mean goodbye?
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, you quoted King and I, and then you went into not King and I. So
You know. So we need to go somewhere that's not that restaurant.
what did you do?
Do you see the clothes you're wearing? Do you see how dirty I am? She starts getting like really offended.
I see
and
how
upset.
dirty these are.
Well, they're better than what they. Yes.
Yeah, that
What
didn't
they
make
could
sense.
have. What they could have been. They could have been covered in blood, and they're not.
So what did you do?
She's thinking about the butcher, but she's not gonna say that. Just so you know.
Who should we be looking for to make contact? Because these people seem very not open to contact.
I'm thinking a therapist for Zariah.
Or should we just try to leave and just write this one off?
Hold on. I'm gonna pause this really quickly. So the last time just the three of us played together, we were in an alley. We sacrificed someone.
That's what I've been saying the entire time.
I know, but here's the other thing. We were stuck in the alley the entire time.
Yes. We haven't. We've only left alleys to go to other alleys so far.
We need
I'm
Kiri and Lex in order for us to move
We
out
are
of
we are
alley.
nothing if not consistent.
This is true.
Are we the alley cat gang? Like, is that what we should be called? I want to be an alley
Alley
cat.
Maybe at this
Alley.
point. Okay.
I do want to be a cat.
Well, you also
everybody
cut out because of the internet connection, so I'm going to take that as yes, you accept being part of the alley cat gang. Welcome to it,
The
Alex.
cat's the only cat who knows
I
where it's at.
do not
Tell
want
me.
to be a cat.
But everybody wants to be a cat.
Because everything else is obsolete. A square with a horn makes you wish you were born.
Every time that he plays.
Oh, a ricky dicky dicky.
I am once again standing here in a killer suit asking what our next move is.
As Zariah and Dilly are just dancing around him.
No, Zariah
So-
would not dance nor sing.
Well, Dilly is absolutely dancing
You guys
around
do
him.
know if you want to, like, you can leave the city, especially since you have a shadow in to the toe. You know that where you are right now, you are in the northern part of the city, and if you go west, probably about a mile and a half, you will reach the edge of the city. There's a gateway there, and you can leave the city if you would like. That's also the direction of where the Hall of Stalkers is. It's about like for about a mile outside of the city is where the Hall of Stalkers is.
So the Hall of
By the
Stalkers
way-
and the Hall of Shadows are outside of the city.
No, Hall of the Shadows. Their kind of main building is actually in the Potentate's Tower. It's the central kind of
Yeah, exactly.
city hall.
Oh, the tower, of course, yes.
Okay.
City Hall.
Um,
The Hall of Protectors is like where the police come from. That's where the Protectors come from. The Shadows are actually in the Potentate's Tower, which is City Hall, effectively.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, on the stalker note, apparently I am the lowest ranking stalker, and higher rank stalkers can fly, apparently, so that's fun. So look out for any metal suits in the sky with guns.
Something tells me.
New nightmare unlocked.
So, are we going out to the city, or are we staying and hiding in the city to find out more information? I feel like I know would want to stay in the city.
I think I should leave the city.
Yes, dishwasher living.
Why don't we
city.
try to establish a base of operations outside the city, away
Alright.
from the Hall of Stalkers?
All right. Which is the Hall of Stalkers just to the west as well, of where our exit gate is.
Yeah, the closest exit to where you guys are right now is the Western Gate, which is also the same direction, but the Hall of Stalkers is about a mile outside of the city. So
Right. All right. All right. Away we go then. All right, follow me.
okay, so it's not
So
particularly.
Wyatt's just looking around. confused.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
there's
sitting
chaos
there
happening in this
we're
hotel
doing
room.
things.
Oh, gotcha. It got really
So-
quiet. So.
So getting out of the city, it takes you the better part of about 10-15 minutes since there's absolutely no traffic. Why don't we'll let, since she's leading you, Zariah, choose even or odd.
Odd.
Okay. Yeah, you make it to the edge of the city without attracting any attention whatsoever. When you get there, you can see there's a set of protectors at the gate that when they see the stalker, they kind of just go, oh, and then they see the other people and they see the shadow and they kind of look at each other, and as you approach the door hasn't opened yet, and they're kind of just looking around.
Soraya just stares at them and glares. Very Zolta inspired.
Is there something that you need from us, Shadow?
To open the doors, obviously.
Oh, yes, of course. And they go and the door opens. And anything else that you need?
Soraya's gonna sigh. No, and walk past. At least I can do one thing correct.
I
Mutters
linger
as she
and
walks
stare at the guy, and then follow.
Okay. As you guys walk out of the city, you're actually blinded a bit because the city itself has relatively high walls and there's all these buildings. So it's, despite the fact that there's the sun out and everything, it's still kind of dark. But as you come outside, you're almost blinded by this sheer bright light of the sun actually shining without large buildings blocking it and everything. And you look around and you can see kind of rolling plains. You can see in the distance there are mountains. You even see one particularly large mountain with a ring of smoke around the top that kind of resembles Death Mountain to a point, but not really.
Soraya's gonna. Go ahead.
And further off, you can see a large kind of fort-looking building that you can only assume is the Hall of Stalkers.
Soraya's gonna turn around once all the party has come through, and again glaring at the guards.
Okay.
It's fun being Zolta.
Yes, it is. I miss her.
Don't worry. Apparently, you get to play with a version of her. She's going to look at them and, while glaring, tell them to close the door, and we were never here. You understand?
Of course. And the door shuts behind you.
Now I know what Mom feels like.
Zaraya, I feel like you're enjoying this a lot.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Oh, you knew that.
Do you not see these boots?
Were they meant for walking?
No, they're meant for stomping. Let's go. But where are we going from here?
Away from that building.
All right. So, is there? You said.
Also, this seems like we're in a version of Hyrule, right?
It does, sort of. This is really interesting.
Anyway, we should walk and talk.
So the further away you get
We
from the
walk
city,
away from the building.
you guys notice the city itself is massive. And it seems that the Potentate's Tower is in kind of the middle of the northern section of the city, and it is by far the tallest building, easily 500 feet high. Just this massive, overbearing tower, and then the rest of the city kind of grows down from there. The further away from the Potentate's Tower you get, the shorter the buildings start getting.
Oh, so that's where I work. Apparently.
And then outside, again, it's mostly like it's relatively lush. Like there's plants in that, but you don't see any signs of civilization aside from the stalkers, the Hollow Stalkers. Like there are no.
Guess we're looking for a cave.
With rolling hills.
Well, there are
Actually, you're right.
mountains probably about, from where you guys are, probably about half a day to a full day's journey. You start getting to like the foothills of the mountains. And you do see there's a decently wooded forest to the south of where you guys are that you might be able to come up with a kind of basin that are there.
Probably head to the forest for now. Huh?
Jiraiya takes out her notebook and starts, because she has a pencil, and starts and starts like writing notes about the environment in her.
Okay.
Dilly is making a note to bring theater makeup with them going forward.
Where is your note being taken?
Mentally.
Okay.
She's writing it on the inside of her apron.
I'm about to say. She takes that greasy rock that she found.
If we ever get this outfit back to that waiter, they'll be so confused as they read the apron.
Note to
You
self,
may not.
theater, stage and makeup. Grease paint. Oh, please put grease paint. That would be really funny.
So, where do you guys want to go? There's a forest. You can start heading towards mountains. You can start heading towards the Hollow Stalkers. What are we
Forest
thinking?
seems closer, and I'm not going to the Hollow Stalkers.
Oh, you don't want to do menial jobs.
More like it's gonna be weird to explain things, even if I'm alone.
Hearing Zaraya say, so that's where I work, Dilly immediately about faces and goes the other direction.
Okay.
Nope.
You guys think
this-
the forest is probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Okay.
And at this point,
Yeah,
you're getting
forest
like
seems closer.
midday-ish. You think probably as you guys were leaving the city, you think the lunch rush is probably going to start happening through the next 20 minutes here. Real quick, Elias from Peyton, take an effort token.
Thank you, Peyton.
Or sorry, Emperor P. I don't know who Emperor P is.
Thank you, Emperor P.
So you guys head off to this forest area, and as you get in there, probably one of the first things that you notice is while there is a little bit of like the forest itself seems alive-ish, something just seems off about the forest in general. And as you look around a little bit more, you realize you don't see any animals here. Like there's no boars sleeping in the shade, there's no wolves. As much as you can hear the sound of birds in the soundscape I've put on, there's no birds.
They're mechanical birds.
Yeah.
There's little speakers that are making
spies.
birds noises. But yeah, like the forest itself seems to be perfectly healthy. There's just no animals, which shouldn't be possible. Like, generally nature requires animals.
Zoraya's gonna think about the animal creature that she saw being butchered. Can she figure out what it was or what it...
The most you would be able to figure out from it is it was large, probably like the size of like cattle size.
Okay.
But because it was already in the process of being butchered, I mean, big hunks of meat look like big hunks of meat.
Yeah.
Dilly is going to keep their guard up because noticing that there's no animals, they are half convinced this is a murder forest. Can't be cannibalism, though, because trees eating meat is not cannibalism.
I am very
Trees
confused
eating
about what you
trees
just said.
would be.
Yes, it would. And therefore, it's not cannibalism, it's just meat murder.
We watch as
Soraya,
Eliza's
does
head
this-
just explodes.
Forest look like it could be one of your, not
sorry,
one of your
hold on. Say that
holograms,
again.
but a hologram.
Your internet cut out. Can you say that again?
Oh, does this forest look like it could be a hologram?
Soraya goes up and taps the trees.
They seem very tree-like.
Is there a scent in the forest? I'm imagining there is.
Yeah, I mean, it smells like a forest. These are mostly like oak trees and stuff like that, so it doesn't smell like pine or anything like that.
Right.
Oaks don't tend to have quite as strong a scent, but...
Right, but they're still like sort of
Yeah.
sappy and grassy. Holograms don't make sense. SENTS.
I mean, they do make sense, but they don't make sense.
Exactly. That's why I had to spell it for those who don't know, who have difficulty with multiple meaning words.
Dilly is not paying attention to Soraya at all.
Sorry, that was just to the GM. That wasn't said aloud.
I kind of wanted to have been.
I have to stop using my accent. Sorry.
You eventually get used to switching between the accent and your normal voice, but it takes a bit.
Yeah.
Because I do that in my the one D&D game I actually get to play in. I use an accent, and it takes a while to get used to. Oh, anytime I say something in my accent, they're going to think I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Looking around, you think...
So real forest.
Yeah, definitely a real forest. You think kind of building a base further in the forest where it wouldn't be noticed would probably not be difficult. Depending on how elaborate a base you would want to make. But like a little campsite that could be hidden relatively quickly would not be difficult to make here at all.
Is there a stream or anything nearby that we can see, or?
Not that you could see here. You know
Zoraya's
there
going
is
to
there is
try
a
and-
kind of major river that feeds into the city itself, but it's a couple miles away. It comes into the southern. It enters the city from the south. So.
All right, Zariah's going to attempt to fly up and then realize she can no longer fly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did
interesting.
you just try to fly?
Is this how you feel all the time? That's restricting.
Not really, because I never really try to fly in the first place, so I just never have that disappointment.
You can still climb.
That's different.
I'm not sure how well I can climb either, and I hold up my gun for an arm.
Can you retract that?
Just get a trapeze.
I will the gun to retract.
You can take off the gun. Like you can like there's a little hook on the back that if you want to basically take off the gun so that you have an extra hand, you can. But it doesn't retract or anything. You literally take it off.
The gun. But and I just pop it off. Apparently I can take this off. Or at least the gun. Hopefully I can take the whole thing off. It would be nice to shower.
It would be nice to not look like a stalker all the time. I should have gotten clothes for me too. But nothing looks good.
Does it feel like I'm wearing clothes under this?
Yeah, as far as you can tell, you have effectively a jumpsuit on underneath it. Nothing
Okay.
for the fancy.
Well, I will use an action to take off the suit since we're in a forest base.
So, takes a little bit of work to get it off because as much as you have like an instinctual knowledge of how it goes on and off, you personally have never physically taken your suit off before. So it is kind of this weird thing where you're fighting muscle memory to just take this thing off, but it comes off without too much difficulty. You guys see
It's nice to breathe fresh air.
standing there. One thing you all would probably notice is Adesh always has this like necklace thing that he wears that he doesn't seem to have on right now.
But he still looks like the Adesh that we know. Like
For the most part, his haircut's different. Like he has much closer to kind of like.
What's my haircut?
You have kind of like a crew cut.
He looks good before, but you also look good with that.
This feels
I'll
short.
turn around. Arel, sorry. Sorry. It is.
It's really short. I don't know if I like it.
You still look good, so it's fine.
Well, I put effort into my appearance. Although apparently this world put effort into it already.
Let's gonna go talk to Mato for a bit.
Okay. Well, as you all kind of
She's not hitting on him. She's just making an objective statement.
Sure.
now that you guys finally have a chance to relax, now that you no longer feel like you're being hunted or anything like that, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this or any of the other episodes, we do have all of these right here on the Twitch channel on the VODs. Again, that's twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. Otherwise, we do upload these all to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Zelda Universe TV. So you can definitely catch up on all of our old episodes, and we're also uploading Realms of the Wild, our first campaign. We are slowly rebuilding Realms of the Wild on YouTube as well. So you can watch our first campaign. Slowly but surely. I keep mentioning
Wednesday
it. So
Zeldathon, we'll be playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, and then definitely tune into Zeldathon. Otherwise, that is going to be all for us today, and we will see you guys next week. All right? Bye-bye.